So I was in the mood to talk and decided to come out here to the picnic table, talk to you guys. You know, for the past several videos, we've been talking about our family circle camping trip of 2025. And with each video, we kind of cover a campground that we're at. Well, today we're going to be covering two, because I kind of forgot one. Well, if I remember right, last week's video covered stop number 22, and probably a topic that you guys didn't really care too much about. Well, today we're going to cover stops 23 and 24, along with the topic that you may not care too much about. So it's a win-win. So let's talk about stop number 23 first. That campground was called Almost Home RV Park, and it was located in Walnut Ridge, Arkansas. It was our only stop in Arkansas, but it was also the hottest stop that we've had on this entire trip. I think it was 100 degrees or more pretty much every day that we were there. It was so hot, guys, that this drone enthusiast, this unprofessional sitting here in front of you, decided not to fly a drone. We didn't want to go outside. Now, the Almost Home RV Park is one of those parks that's set off the side of a main road, and it's meant for kind of two different types of people. It's meant for people that are traveling by, maybe stopping for the night. It's also meant for those that are in the area for a contracting job, say they need a place to stay for a few weeks while they're working and they're living in their camper. But we don't meet either of those criteria because, first of all, we're both retired, and secondly, we were there for 3 nights. I think we may have overstayed our welcome. Now, let's bounce back to the reasons that there's no drone footage from the Almost Home RV Park. I said, first of all, it was hot, but secondly, there was also an issue. There was a crop duster plane that was in and out of that area pretty much the entire time that we were there, and he would just show up all times of the day unannounced. I mean, obviously, he's not going to call and say, hey, Kevin, I'm going to fly over your area today, so don't be flying the drone. Well, fortunately, I saw that crop duster before I put the drone up in the air, so that was a good thing. Now, I tried my best to get footage of this crop duster while we were at the campground. Man, every time that I went to go film him, he would be hiding behind the trees. But on our way here to this campground, to stop number 24, oh yeah, we got some really cool footage on the dash camera. Well, just because we didn't get a chance to fly the drone at Almost Home RV Park, it didn't mean that we just stayed inside the camper the whole time. We did have a couple of excursions that we did. First place that we went to a place called Beatles Park, and it's in downtown Walnut Ridge. And apparently back in the 1960s, I guess it was, the Beatles, they came to that town, and I don't know if they did a show or I didn't read the plaque 100%. I think maybe their plane landed at the airport. That was a big deal for them. Well, in this picture, Christy's posing with the Beatles. And yeah, I think it's probably the best picture that we took at that whole park. We went to another park called the Guitar Walk. And walking into this park, it was set up really neat. When you enter this park, you're looking down the neck of a guitar, down to the body of the guitar, and you're walking along the strings. So it was really quite something. And as you walked past these different areas that they had set up, they had different tributes to different bands and to different artists throughout the years. They had people like Elvis Presley, Conway Twitty, and I don't even remember who else, but they had a bunch of different people that they were giving these tributes to. So that was a really neat park to see. Well, yesterday was the day that we broke down our camper and we moved to this new spot, spot number 24 from Almost Home RV Park. Where are we at right now? Well, we're in Tupelo, Mississippi. Yeah, guys, I know some of you guys know why this place is famous. We'll get to that part in just a second. But on the trip here, we had some really cool sights and everything. We drove through Memphis, Tennessee, which was, man, them roads were about as rough as I-70 going through Indiana. I wouldn't recommend driving through there because we ended up having some interior damage on the camper, and I don't really know how to fix it yet. A lot of you guys know we travel with what's called a Blue Boy, or what I call a Blue Boy. It's a Barker poop tote. I did a video on this thing a long time ago where we had some damage done to it and I had to try to figure out a way to fix it. If you guys haven't seen that video, I'll link it right here. It's pretty funny. But anyway, on the way here, we hit a bump, and I guess the strap that was holding it down in the bed of the truck kind of broke loose a little bit. Well, the Blue Boy started to float up in the air, and it was almost going up above the rails of the truck. So I knew that we had to stop to get that addressed. Well, as Christy's in the camper and I'm messing with that strap trying to get everything tightened down, there was this really, really loud siren that just came out of nowhere. Scared the crap out of both of us. Now, Christy was inside the camper, so I didn't know if it really scared her or not. But as soon as she came outside, the look on her face, it was priceless. It told me that she was mad. Well, that was some sort of a test alarm for something. I'm not even sure what it was. Christy said she thinks it might have been a tornado thing. I have no idea. But we just happened to be there. I don't know how often they do it. We just happened to be there the very minute that they did it. And I thought we were being invaded. I really, really thought something was wrong. So all of that stuff leads us to where we are today. We're at stop number 24 in Tupelo, Mississippi, and this is called the Campground at Barnes Crossing. Whew, man, that was a lot to say without reading. Now, like I said before, a lot of you guys may know why Tupelo, Mississippi is famous. Of course, it's the birthplace of Elvis, and there's also a big museum here. Well, we decided to not go that route. We're not going to go to the Elvis Museum because, man, that place is expensive. And they have a lot of rules. You can't even film in there. You can't take pictures or nothing as far as I know. Well, getting back to the campground, last week I told you guys that we got a complaint that I was just, I guess, sitting beside the camper and talking about the campgrounds we were at rather than walk you through the park. Let me show you this. Not only is it 90 degrees right now, but there's also a lot of hills here. And I don't feel like sweating, so we're just gonna talk about it. The sun's fixing to go down, so it's starting to cool off. You guys can't tell, but that is a humongous grade down that hill. And that is a humongous grade up the same hill. I know that makes sense. Now this is again one of those campgrounds that doesn't have a lot of amenities. It's basically just a place for people to, I guess, stop, and it might be more the destination of the town rather than the destination of the park or the amenities of the park. But it's still a nice park. Unfortunately though, our camper, we're in full sun again whenever the sun's up, so it gets really hot inside. Kind of makes you not want to do much. All right, well here's a quick overview of the campsite that we're at. This is site number 48, I think it is. And one thing about the site that I didn't really care for too much is that it's pretty unlevel. Walking over this way, you guys can see that we have a lot of, I think a squirrel just attacked me with an acorn. But look at all those leveling pads that we had to put under there to make the camper level. It kind of reminds me of the one place we were at in Ohio where we had to use pretty much everything that we had to try to get level. And again, we're still an inch low on this side. But that's okay, I got the perfect spot to launch the drone from. I'm probably gonna fly the drone tomorrow because it's getting kind of late in the evening right now. Right there is where we're gonna fly the drone from. Don't get excited though, not yet. Now we're only here for a couple more days and we don't really have a lot planned as far as going out and seeing the town. But we did go to the Tupelo flea market this afternoon. I'm telling you what, that was an experience. We paid $3 at an ATM to pull out money, to pay $2 to get in, to spend no money. But when we walked in, I was amazed how big this place was. Now, there was a flea market in St. Augustine that we used to go to a lot when it was open. It's since closed, but that was all set up outside. Well, fortunately today, we were inside, and while it was 90-something degrees outside, it was like a nice cool 72 inside, and it was awesome. Now that you guys are all up to date on the 2025 Family Circle camping trip, I think it's time to talk about something way more important. The reason that you're here. Let's talk about some drone stuff. Well guys, welcome back. Now I may be wearing the same clothes, but I want to let you know it's the next day. Don't judge me. But look what happened. We're totally empty on this whole row, so we're the only campers sitting here today. I kind of like it. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 campsites are empty. Now there's still some people over there, but I think the people that were staying in this row must have got the word that I'm wearing the same clothes. All right, so let's get to the point of this video. So today's video has to do with two things. We're going to do two different tests. And one of these tests, actually both of these tests we've done, but we've gotten comments with suggestions on how to actually make things work. So let me show you guys what drone we're going to be using today. We're going to be using Dwight, our DJI Mini 4 Pro, and we're going to be using Martha, the RC2 controller. Now, we've done a couple of videos in the past on return to home flights with this drone and with this controller, and with the annoyance of how loud this controller is on the return to home flight. There's this incessant beeping that just doesn't stop. Now, we've been successful in, I guess, quieting down that beeping by turning the volume all the way down, and therefore you lose all of your sound from the controller. But the problem that you run into when you do that though is you also lose all of the sounds, like all the noises that are important, like also Martha speaking, we can't even hear her talk. So hopefully this solution that we found, or that we come across today, this comment, will maybe rebut that, or not rebut it, but maybe fix that to where, oh, there's a camper coming in. Maybe I don't smell so bad after all. But there's a comment that we got, and he's trying to give us an idea of maybe a way that we can fix this without losing Martha's voice. So the comment come from Daniel Quinn, and he said, silly question, as I've been watching your videos now for a while, but an idea, have you tried to just tap the power button and see if that stops the beeping, as it is really annoying? I have a Mini 4 Pro, but haven't thought of it myself. And these people are moving directly beside us. All right, well, we'll let him get moved into his spot, and I'll get Dwight started up here and we'll see if we can get this test started. Now that's the first test. Now we've got another test that we want to do, but I'm not going to tell you about that because I'm afraid you'll probably just click off the video. All right, let me get Martha started up first here, as we always do. Start the controller. And then we'll start Dwight, get him going. Whoops. You guys have problems with that button too? Every time that you push that button to try to get the drone on, you have to push it like 10 times. There we go. Dwight's already awake. I'm gonna go put him on the landing pad. All right, Dwight, here's your home. We're gonna put you right there for now. And hopefully you can find that landing pad on the trip home, because yeah, we're gonna do a return to home test today. Of course we're gonna do a return to home test. That's what this part's about. So on this controller, I don't know if you guys have had this problem before. I can't start a screen recording yet because I gotta get this message off the screen. It says remote controller SD card inserted. You may go to profile settings, storage to switch current storage location. So I gotta hit OK before I can pull this screen down and hit screen recording. Then I can move this little ticker out of the way to get it out of my connect to aircraft. Why? What does that mean? Oh, you know what? I forgot I flew the Neo last time with this controller, so I gotta hit connect to aircraft. I'm gonna click on Mini 4 Pro and hit confirm. And hopefully it doesn't take a minute like it says. Last time it was pretty fast. Firmware updated, relink device to aircraft of blah, blah, blah. Okay, I guess it started up. So I think that we're connected. Let me pull the gimbal up to make sure we're connected. Yeah, we're connected to Dwight. All right, Dwight, the goal of this test is to silence the controller and not Martha's voice. Think we can do that? All right, let me pull down the thing here and make sure that our volume is all the way up, because we're not just going to be partly annoying, we're going to be really annoying. Let me get rid of the screen here. Oh, it looks like we're connected to Wi-Fi. I don't remember connecting to Wi-Fi, but our Wi-Fi in the camper there is probably what he's connected to. All right, so let me get the camera put on Dwight so you guys can see him take off. We'll get this test started. All right, I'm going to pinch the sticks together. We'll get Dwight started up. Then we'll just raise him up like that. Is he still in the GoPro view? No, there he is. Look at that. Doesn't that look cool? Let me do a little spinny spin with Dwight so you guys can see the front of him, because you don't really get to see the front of him very often, because he's usually returning home in the same orientation. Hi, Dwight. All right, let's get him spun back around. We'll go up in the air here. We'll just go for a quick flight, and then we'll get him. Actually, I need to go up. What does that say? Geozone nearby? Where? I don't remember no geozone being here. Maybe we need to be a little bit more careful then. I wasn't aware that there was anything around here. I looked and didn't see anything on air data. But if you guys can see this, let me go to the GoPro here real quick and show you the opening that we have. This is the only opening that we have at this campsite. Now, a lot of sun gets through there, but hopefully Dwight can find it on his return home flight. All right, so I'm gonna raise Dwight up in the air and give you guys kind of an idea of what the campground looks like. That's not the campground there. I didn't even know that was over there. That looks like a big mansion. Well, maybe it's an apartment. I don't know. All right, so we're like 100 feet up in the air. I'm just gonna spin around here to the side. Let me hit the audio recording there, or the video recording. And look at how much cover this campground actually has. Now, we are pretty much, yeah, we're facing all those sites that were empty, except for the one that's beside us now. But look at that. That's all the sites that were empty. That's our neighbor. And there's me. Hi, Dwight. Yeah, I'm waving at you, but you probably can't see me. Let's zoom in. See if you can see me waving at you. There. We're 3 times zoomed in. Hi, Dwight. I think you can see me now. Let me zoom back out here to 1. And we'll just get this, kind of get an idea of what the campground looks like. Now, you can't really see much because of the trees. So let me raise up a little bit more. Maybe we'll be able to get a better vantage point. But the campground, the entrance is over this way. That's the main road there. That's where the campground sign is that I took a picture with the other day. But this is pretty much all the campground. It's not really very big, but they've got a lot of sites squeezed into here. So, you guys had enough of stuff that you can't see? All right, well, let's just fly Dwight over this way, because I have a better view of him between the trees going this way than going any other way. We'll just fly out a little ways. We're not going to go too far. Now, what he said was, he said just to tap the power button, and that should silence the return to home noise. So we'll see. I've got him set on optimal. I've got actually he's already at the height that the preset return to home is set at anyway. Okay, so I think we're out far enough. We're out 300 feet. I'm gonna hit return to home and get him started on his trek home. Playing waypoint flight, I don't think so. And now I'm just gonna hit the power button and see if we can get that noise canceled. Uh-oh. I just blacked out the screen. That didn't do anything. I hit the button again. Well, that myth is busted because Dwight's right over top of us and I can still hear the, yeah, that was probably not the best thing to do to hit the power button. I wasn't sure if it was gonna power the whole drone off or the whole thing off or if it was gonna make him crash or what. But he's honing himself in on that pad. Let's see if he can find that pad. Now he's almost into the GoPro viewpoint right now, but not quite. So he's raised his camera back up, and now he's into the GoPro, and we're gonna see if he lands on that pad. Are you gonna do it? Looks like he's perfect. That wasn't a bad return to home flight at all. I think that was about as good as it can get. It doesn't get much better than that. All right, Dwight, so the next test that we've got for you is involved or is included in this email right here that I got from Flying Brian a while back. And you may not like this test because you've done it a couple times in the past, but I think it's worth readdressing. Yeah, you guys are about to catch me in one of them what they call fibs. Welcome to the neighborhood, by the way. If you guys remember, a few weeks ago we released a video on the rocket test, or the rocket quick shot, where the camera flips straight up in the air. Now we've been having that problem for at least a year now, and we've thought that we've come across several solutions, but we haven't. Now we did come across one solution where you mark the ground in front of you and then you kind of step into that box and the rocket will work. But when the drone is focused on a person, for some reason that camera likes to just swing up into the sky. And unfortunately, I don't think DJI has a solution for it. Anyway, we got a comment or an email from Flying Brian, and he said, "Hey Kevin, watched the video last night. Very interesting that DJI removed that gimbal feature. See, I can never read. He says, we may not be done with this yet, LOL. I haven't tried it myself yet, but have you ever tried doing the shots with like rocket while having the gimbal in vertical mode?" Now we don't have any type of social media that, like Instagram, that goes with the vertical stuff. So I've never shot any videos with any of my drones in vertical mode. It could not have it for all I care. But for this test, we need it. So I'm glad DJI put it in there. So let's get the camera back on Dwight. We'll get him raised up and we'll do one quick rocket. Dwight has put himself in eco mode. What happened to the video? Oh, I guess I can't record video with him in eco mode, huh? Oh, I can. Oh, maybe it was recording. It's 100 degrees out here, so yeah, it's kind of hot. Sorry, buddy. We'll get you out of eco mode in just a second. I'm gonna put Dwight down on the pad like this so he can face us. He can see my feet. We'll get him started up. Can we even get him started up in eco mode? How do we get him out of eco mode? That's the question. There we go. All right, I got him started up. Let me get him raised up here. We'll just go up maybe 20 feet or so. You see that geozone's back. We'll get him up like 20 feet so he can get his home point if he loses contact or connection, which I don't think he will. And this will give us a chance. His sensors are really going crazy. Let me back him up just a little bit. Oh, you know what? There's trees over here to his right and over here to his left. So I guess that's what he's probably sensing. Actually, it says, yeah, it's this tree right here to the other side. It's going to be this tree right here that he's looking at that he doesn't like. Right there. He doesn't like that tree very much. All right, anyway, let me get down to brass tacks here. Let me hit the 3 dots, go over to camera. Got to try somehow to figure out, to get into the vertical mode. Maybe there you go. I see the button. See, guys, I found the button that fast. So you hit this button here, and it switches to vertical mode. So I'm going to get Dwight down here, and we're going to get me in the picture like normal. Does it just me, or does it make me look thinner? Let me go over to quick shots, and we're going to do a rocket. And I tried last week to lay down like those people did, and of course that didn't work. Let me get that off the screen. I'll hit plus on myself. And now I'm officially the target of this rocket. So I'm just going to go 80 feet like normal. We'll hit start.
3, 2,
Martha's telling us that he's fixing to go up in the air. I'll go ahead and wave. Oh, he lost the target. Quick shot ended. Let me start this again. One more time. Hit start. Don't lose me, buddy. There you. Quick shot ended. Why is that? Do you not do quick shots in this mode? Is it because there's a obstacle? Let me back up. See if I can get you backed up here to where there's no obstacle. There, he's not really making too much noise right now. So let me hit start one more time. I think he was he was detecting an obstacle as a problem, and that is what interfered with the flight. So yeah, I'm waving at Dwight just like I always do because people don't like it. He's almost up to his 80 feet. He's got me in a, that's a weird looking box. I've never seen that. It says gimbal limit, axis reached, movement limit, or whatever it says. It's hidden because I can't see it behind the, what you call it, the ticker. So now he's starting to come down and his gimbal is up in the sky again. So that didn't work, unfortunately. Oh well, at least we tried. So he's back home now. Let me see if I can mess with the gimbal now. There, I can pull the gimbal down. And I'm gonna get back in this landscape mode because I prefer to be short and fat as opposed to tall and skinny. All right, well, let's get Dwight landed so we can have ourselves a conclusion. Can you do it, buddy? Get up here and land. Let me see if I can get you on the pad. I probably can't because I'm not a very good drone pilot. Why are you going that way? Why are you going that way? I'm trying to get you to go straight. That was weird. I think he was trying to go around me. A perfect landing. All right, guys, well, there we have it. We have 2 tests and 2 fails. So we're on par with Brother Roberts. As always, guys, I want to thank you for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great week. God bless.